This is a Samsung a03 core. So I want to share with you something. So if you put it in a computer, it is detected. Okay, it is detected. That means that the power IC and the CPU is fine, but the memory chip cannot be seen. That thing, it is two-way. It can either be a hardware issue or a corrupt software issue. So don't cram. For me, I have worked on a lot of models like this, and I know the cause. Most of the times I do reball the CPU of the phone, but sometimes it may be the memory itself that has a pad or a tooth that it is detached or broken. So don't cram. That's why I say don't cram. If you reball the CPU and the problem persists, you should move on and reball the memory chip, because you never know and you can't tell which line is broken and where it is broken. So most of the phones that I receive, it's not about software issue, it's about a hardware issue, detached ice leg and some other kind of stuff. So it doesn't mean that yours will be in the same scenario. It may be a different issue. So for you it may be a memory or something else. So that's why I don't want you to cram. So you should learn how to use your PC. Some use DC power supplies to see. So when they try to trigger boot, to see how many currents, how many amps the phone, the startup current, to see where the phone is stuck or some kind of, to detect and to assume. So we work on assuming. We assume. So according to this value, the DC power supply is showing 0.100 amps, and you assume that that is a RAM problem. The phone is not seeing the RAM, so we just assume and we work on it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it fails. Right now, here I was removing, as you can see, I was cutting the protective shield. Okay, I was cutting the protective shield to get access to the CPU, so I can remove it and I reball it. Some people use a DC to troubleshoot this kind of problem or fault, but one thing that I'm going to tell you, with the DC power supplies, you should always make sure you have the right boot cables. If you don't have the right boot cable, you will get a very big problem and difficulty in finding out the problem. Okay, because some phone require original battery to boot. There are some lines that are needed. Okay, but some people, they just clamp the positive to the VBAT and they clamp the negative to the GND of the phone, and you will get your phone will be stuck and it will not boot. So it will be stuck on a certain amp on a DC power supply, and some people will assume that maybe the RAM or the CPU, but when the actual thing is that the phone is not seeing the battery, that's why it is not booting. So don't forget to use the right boot cables to troubleshoot. That's why most of the cases I use the battery BMS, the original circuit that controls. So I solder the battery. I solder the DC power supply cables directed to those, or I just clamp it on that battery control circuit, because I have found it very many times that a battery can stop a phone from switching on. So now As you can see in the video here, I was trying to remove the CPU. Yeah, I was trying to remove the CPU so I can reball it to see the results, but as I did the voiceover on this video, the phone worked. I just reballed the CPU. It was a spread trap or unisoc. So for your case, if you reball the CPU and the phone fails to work, move on and reball the memory chip. Some phones they have the NAND or the storage chip separated from the RAM chip. Okay, so if you get an issue like this when you try to boot a phone and it is stuck in bootloader, it is stuck somewhere, so you should first reball the CPU, because the CPU has a smaller surface area on its pads, so they detach easily before reballing the RAM chips. RAM chips and memory chips have a bigger ice pads, they have bigger legs, so it is difficult for them to detach. So whenever someone drops a phone, that shock causes these ice pads to detach, some to become loose. Some become loose just due to the temperature and contraction that occur within the ices. As you know, when something is heated, it expands, and when it cools, it contracts. So that process happens continuously in day-to-day life. Phone cools, heats, cools, heats, cools. So in that process, some parts detach. So if you have made it this way so far and you are still watching this video, I request you to go to my YouTube channel and you subscribe. It is phone.rehab.microsoldering. That channel, it's new, it doesn't have a lot of videos, but we are going to upload from scratch. We are going to tell you the tools you need in phone repair for the start, the professional tools. We are going to tell you where you can buy them, how you can order them outside, or how you can get them from local shops or city centers. And we will teach you the theory and the hardware part, Android for the start, and we will teach iPhones as well in the near future, because that is professional level courses, but we will teach you all that kind of stuff.